Mali, known as the country of salt and gold, is one of the poorest nations in the world today. However, during the Middle Ages, it was a powerful empire, and one of the wealthiest individuals in history once ruled over these lands. Stay with me as we explore the fascinating geography, culture, and other aspects of Mali, some positive and others a bit more controversial and less known. Mali is considered one of the most insecure countries globally, largely due to the presence of terrorist groups, guerrillas, and separatists. This unrest stems from the 2012 armed conflict between the North and South, which began after a coup that overthrew President Amadou Toumani Touré. The political chaos that followed, alongside the weak central government, created a power vacuum in the north. This allowed Tuareg rebel groups to seize the moment and launch a rebellion, demanding either independence or greater autonomy for the region of Azawad. During the Tuareg rebellion, Islamic extremist groups such as Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and Ansar Deen also took advantage of the situation to establish control, imposing a strict version of Islamic law in the region. In 2013, in response to the growing extremist threat, France intervened militarily through Operation Serval, aimed at halting the advance of these groups and regaining the lost territory. Despite liberating several cities, the French military presence could not fully end the violence, and jihadist terrorism continues to plague both the Sahel region and parts of North Africa and Europe. Mansa Musa, the 10th emperor of the Mali Empire, is often hailed as the wealthiest individual in history. His reign was marked by immense personal fortune, which came from the vast reserves of salt, gold, and elephant ivory that his kingdom possessed. Musa's fortune is estimated to have equated to an astounding $400 billion in today's dollars. During his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca, Musa gained international fame when he traveled with 12,000 slaves, 60,000 servants, and 80 camels that carried around 20 kilograms of gold each. Every Friday on his journey, he constructed a mosque, and his generous distribution of gold caused a dramatic price increase across the regions he passed through. Musa inherited a prosperous empire, but greatly expanded it by promoting trade, transforming his kingdom into one of the wealthiest territories in Africa. The Mali Empire was founded in 1235 by Sundiata Keita, its first ruler, known as the Mansa of the Empire until 1255. His life is celebrated in oral traditions passed down through generations, depicting him as one of Mali's national heroes. Sundiata Keita was known for his tolerance and progressive principles, notably opposing the death penalty and striving for peace. Under his leadership, gold and salt mines were consistently a major source of the empire's wealth. Mali's territory was home to three powerful empires that controlled the trans-Saharan trade. These empires also played a role in advancing modern mathematics and astronomy. The first was the Ghana Empire, which existed between the 8th and 13th centuries. Though not located in modern-day Ghana, the empire was named after its king, who bore the title of Ghana, meaning warrior king. The second was the Mali Empire, which thrived from the 13th to the 17th centuries and greatly influenced West Africa. The empire's rulers were immensely wealthy, and Mali exerted a significant cultural influence, spreading its language, laws, and customs through the Niger River. Lastly, the Songhai Empire, which spanned from the 15th to the 16th centuries, was one of the largest Islamic empires in history. At its peak, the Songhai Empire was one of the most significant powers of its time, and even absorbed parts of the Mali Empire. In 1893, Mali became a French colony, marking the beginning of a political and economic union with France that would last for several decades. 6. Mali's culturally enriched society has played a significant role in shaping the region. 6. A century after French colonization, it joined Sudan to secure its independence from the European powers. 6. In 1959, it formed the Federation of Mali, which included several African territories. 6. Since 1960, Mali has maintained its status as an independent state. 7. Today, Mali is a sovereign state with a semi-presidential republic, governed under a military junta. 7. The country is organized into 10 administrative regions. 7. Its economy primarily depends on mining and agriculture, with salt and gold continuing to be its most valuable natural resources. 7. In fact, Mali is currently the third largest producer of gold in Africa, following South Africa and Ghana. 7. Cotton is the most important agricultural crop, and livestock, such as cattle and camels, also plays a role. 7. Over 80% of Malians are engaged in subsistence farming. 7. However, fluctuations in these industries due to factors like climate change and international market shifts lead to periodic waves of temporary unemployment. 7. Fishing, supported by its rivers, lakes, and freshwater resources, is another key economic activity. 7. The Niger River sustains over 200 species of fish. 8. In stark contrast to its glorious imperial past, Mali today remains one of the poorest countries in the world, despite being one of Africa's leading gold producers. 8. Only a tenth of the population earns more than $2 a day, while nearly 2/3 live on less than $1 per day, placing almost half of Mali's people below the poverty line. 8. The main contributors to this include the over-reliance on mining and agriculture, which make the economy vulnerable to international price fluctuations and climate changes. 8. Additionally, the country faces low literacy rates, particularly among women, limiting opportunities for employment. 8. Lack of adequate infrastructure, such as roads, electricity, and irrigation systems, along with ongoing conflict, violence, and desertification, exacerbates the economic struggles. 9. Mali also faces significant water scarcity challenges, with around 3.5 million people unable to access clean water, particularly in rural areas. 9. The country, which has 65% of its landmass in the Sahara and Sahel, is one of the hottest places on Earth. 9. The Niger River, a vital source of water, has seasonal fluctuations, and its quality can be affected by soil erosion. 9. During torrential rains, flooding occurs, often causing more harm than good. 9. Contaminated water became a major issue during a cholera outbreak in the middle of the last decade, which was worsened by a lack of functioning health centers due to insufficient staffing. 9. Locals advise foreigners with the phrase, "cook it, peel it, or forget it," emphasizing the need for caution with food and water. 9. Currently, even fruits must be washed using chlorinated water or other methods to prevent health risks. 9. Despite these challenges, there has been significant improvement over the years, and now 80% of the population has access to clean water, with the percentage falling to 70% in rural areas. 10. Mali is located in West Africa, making it the 8th largest country on the continent. 10. It shares borders with Algeria to the north, Niger to the east, Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast to the south, Guinea to the southwest, and Senegal and Mauritania to the west. 10. Mali's geography is diverse, with distinct landscapes and features. 10. The country is divided into 3 major geographical zones. 10. The first is the Saharan zone, which extends across the northern part of the country. 11. Southernmost and largest city in Mali, and it serves as the country's capital. 11. Located on the Niger River, Bamako is the political, cultural, and economic heart of the nation. 11. The city's strategic position along the river has contributed to its development as a major urban center, and it is home to about 2 million people. 11. Over the years, Bamako has grown rapidly, with urbanization increasing significantly since Mali gained independence in 1960. 11. It offers a mix of modern infrastructure and historical sites, reflecting both the country's rich cultural heritage and contemporary developments. In addition to gold, uranium, and salt, Mali is also endowed with phosphate and limestone reserves, contributing significantly to its resource-rich profile. The country boasts several national parks and protected areas aimed at preserving its biodiversity. Among these are the Boucle du Baoulé National Park, renowned for its diverse ecosystem, and the Goma Wildlife Reserve, both of which are critical for the conservation of the country's flora and fauna. These natural areas not only preserve endangered species, but also serve as important ecotourism destinations. Mali's geography is categorized into 3 distinct regions. The first, the Saharan zone, which encompasses the northern part of the country, is the most arid. The Sahel, located centrally, is less desert-like, but still quite dry. The third zone, the southern region, where most of the population resides, is characterized by more fertile lands, abundant forests, and a generally more hospitable climate. Although Mali is largely flat, it is home to mountain ranges, such as the Adrar des Ifogas in the north, near the Algerian border, and the Hombori Mountains in the center. The Hand of Fatima, an impressive rock formation in the Hombori Mountains, is one of the most notable natural landmarks in the country. Mali's climate is typically hot and dry, characteristic of desert and arid regions. From February to June, temperatures rise and the climate remains dry. From June to November, the country experiences humid, temperate conditions with frequent rains. In contrast, the months from November to January tend to be cool and dry. Some of the hottest regions in Mali include Timbuktu, Tagasa, Taoudani, Arawani, Gao, and Tessalit. Kayes, a city known as the pressure cooker of Africa, experiences some of the most intense temperatures, particularly during April, when temperatures can become extreme. The heat in Awani and Taoudani is even more pronounced during the summer months. The Niger River is the 3rd longest river in Africa and an essential lifeline for Mali. Without this river, the country would be mostly uninhabitable, covered in desert. The river's inner delta, created by seasonal floods, forms a vast expanse of wetlands that is crucial for agriculture and supports diverse wildlife. These seasonal floods create fertile conditions for farming, allowing crops like rice, millet, and sorghum to thrive. Additionally, the river is a vital source of fish, a significant protein source, and employment for Malians engaged in fishing. Mali is home to 2 unique and endangered species, the African manatee and the Goma elephant. The African manatee, found in the Niger River, is known for its large, rounded body and paddle-shaped snout. There are fewer than 10,000 of these animals remaining in coastal waters across various African countries. Historically, they led peaceful lives in Mali, feeding on aquatic plants with little threat from predators. However, over the years, habitat destruction due to human activity such as fishing, agriculture, and the construction of dams has taken a toll on their population. 17. Another endangered species native to Mali is the Goma elephant. 17. A unique subspecies of African elephant. These elephants are adapted to the extreme conditions of the Sahel, a semi-desert region between the Niger River and the Bandiagara Mountains. 17. They have a nomadic lifestyle and travel great distances in search of food and water. 17. Unfortunately, their numbers have dwindled dramatically, with poaching, desertification, and armed conflict being the primary threats to their survival. 17. There are currently only about 350 individuals remaining, highlighting the urgent need for conservation efforts. 18. These unique aspects of Mali, from its geographic diversity to its rich resources and the challenges faced by its endangered wildlife, paint a complex and multifaceted picture of a nation steeped in history, yet struggling with modern-day hardships. 19. Air quality and even disrupt agriculture and daily life. 19. Haboobs are common in Mali, particularly in the northern regions, and they occur most often during the dry season. 19. These powerful sandstorms are not only a challenge for locals, but they also pose environmental risks like soil erosion and can exacerbate desertification in vulnerable areas. 19. Despite this, Malians have adapted to such extreme weather conditions, and the sandstorms have become a part of life in the country's Saharan and Sahelian zones. The Niger River is a cornerstone of Malian society and one of the country's primary sources of life. Originating in Guinea, the river flows across Mali, providing water to agricultural fields, supporting local fishing industries, and serving as a major transportation route. The river's importance is reflected in the way it's integrated into local culture. Along its banks, people live in villages dependent on the water for drinking, farming, and fishing. Visitors to Mali often experience the river firsthand, taking boat cruises along the river to view local life and the stunning landscapes. Bamako's vibrant local markets offer a wealth of traditional crafts that embody the artistic culture of Mali. These include textiles, pottery, jewelry, and carved wooden items, many of which are handmade by skilled artisans using age-old methods passed down through generations. Exploring these markets is one of the best ways to understand the rich heritage of Mali. In addition to its markets, the music scene in Bamako thrives, with local performances often filled with rhythm and energetic performances by musicians of all kinds. Mali hosts various cultural festivals and celebrations throughout the year. The festival on the Niger, which takes place in the town of Ségou, celebrates the diverse culture of the country through music, dance, theater, and food. One of the most prominent is the Timbuktu Festival of Nomadic Culture, celebrating the country's desert traditions, focusing on the nomadic groups in the north, and featuring local music, poetry, and cultural performances. These festivals bring together Malians and visitors from around the world to experience the country's cultural wealth, despite the economic challenges the nation faces. 23. These factors, geographical, economic, historical, and cultural, combine to paint a vivid picture of Mali, a country that, though struggling with poverty, remains rich in cultural depth, natural resources, and historical significance. Mali has made strides in improving its education system, though challenges remain. Literacy rates are relatively low compared to global standards, particularly in rural areas where access to education is limited. However, the government, along with international organizations, continues to work towards increasing school enrollment, especially for girls, and expanding educational infrastructure. A major hurdle is the number of schools and teachers available in remote regions. In recent years, efforts have been directed towards improving the quality of education and training teachers to offer students the opportunity for a better future. Despite these efforts, education remains a pressing challenge for Mali, particularly with its large and youthful population. Mali faces significant challenges in healthcare, with limited access to medical services in rural and remote areas, and the government has limited resources to invest in public health infrastructure. The country grapples with diseases like malaria, cholera, and malnutrition, affecting the most vulnerable populations. Hospitals in urban centers like Bamako tend to be better equipped than those in rural regions, but healthcare disparities are a continuing concern. However, Mali has made advances in combating diseases such as polio, and international medical programs continue to work in the country to provide services to both urban and rural communities. Access to healthcare and sanitation remains a key issue for much of Mali's population. Mali faces several environmental issues, including deforestation, desertification, and a lack of access to clean water. The country's proximity to the Sahara Desert, along with desertification challenges, contributes to a depletion of arable land, particularly in the Sahel and northern regions. Climate change is expected to exacerbate these problems, making water sources more scarce and affecting farming communities dependent on seasonal rainfall. The impact of environmental changes, including fluctuating weather patterns, plays a significant role in the challenges faced by communities in rural Mali. These issues, compounded by political instability, significantly impact both the well-being of the population and the country's economic outlook. Mali is officially a republic with a semi-presidential system that has been in place since the 1990s. However, political instability has plagued the country in recent decades, largely due to multiple coups and insurgencies, especially in the northern and central regions. In 2012, a coup toppled the government, and conflicts in the north involving Tuareg separatists and Islamic militant groups have further strained the country's political stability. International efforts, particularly by the United Nations and France, have been directed toward peacekeeping and the restoration of stability. Mali has also undertaken democratic reforms, but challenges in governance remain, especially with corruption and inequality being constant concerns in the political system. Malian cuisine is a reflection of the country's diverse ethnic groups and their geographical regions. Some staples include sorghum, millet, and rice, with meats like goat, sheep, and chicken being common in many traditional dishes. Jollof rice is popular in various parts of the country, often served alongside fried plantains or meat stews. Tow, a porridge made from millet or sorghum flour, is a traditional dish of the Bambara people, typically enjoyed with soup made from meats or vegetables. Bitterleaf soup is a widely known traditional Malian dish, offering bold flavors that often feature dried fish, palm oil, and spicy ingredients. Additionally, street foods such as fried dough balls called samosas and grilled skewers are popular in cities like Bamako. Sharing meals with friends and family is an important aspect of Malian culture, and food often plays a central role in celebrations and social events. In Mali, culture and tradition are celebrated with various annual festivals that showcase music, art, food, and local customs. Some important festivals include the Festival sur le Niger in Ségou, which celebrates the vibrant local culture through music, dance, and theatrical performances. Another famous festival is the Festival of the Dogon people, which highlights the Dogon ethnic group's unique traditions, rituals, and their connection to the land, celebrated through music, dance, and ceremonies. Music is a central part of Mali's cultural expression, with artists globally known for their contributions to the Afrobeat and blues genres, including Alifa Couture and Oumou Sangaré. Despite its challenges, Mali remains a country of deep cultural significance, brimming with rich traditions, historical landmarks, and a people who continue to adapt, innovate, and celebrate their heritage. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join me on even more exciting adventures in the future. Make sure to turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the videos coming up next. Thank you for learning about the fascinating country of Mali. I hope you found the information insightful, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.